What is your response? What do you think about that, guys? Anyone who can pick it fast?
Yeah. I think he's candid enough just to say the things that Kenyans are saying out there. And that's why I have maintained some of these people in very high government offices need to find engage in gumzo mtaani. They will be shocked by the things that are going on in this country versus the things they are thinking about. They may be too obsessed about this transition from the president when his term comes to an end. They may be too obsessed about who becomes the president after Uhuru has retired and all those things. But they keep forgetting that the sovereign power in this country rests with the people. And that is what Article 1 of the Constitution says. And ultimately, a few individuals out there will never have the capacity to overrule the willpower and the will of the people. They may succeed for some time. And actually, this is, he has mentioned something very important about people coming up with government regulations for purposes of narrow political interests. I remember very well some of my friends who are, I don't want to mention their names, who have been crying very loud recently that either their security has been withdrawn and all these funny things. They are the same people who are shouting the loudest back in 2015 when they were passing the Security Laws Amendment Act in Parliament. They never knew that the day will come when the same laws that they were happy to pass because they were punishing the opposition will be used against them. So the same measure they need to realize, first the presidents need to realize that he needs to be very careful with how he treats other leaders. Nobody knows who the next president of this country will be. Even he himself, Uhuru, cannot determine who will be the president because God always has a way of doing his own things. You can be here thinking about that Ruto will be the next president or this other person. Then you end up with somebody like even the Turkana governor, Nanok, becoming the governor, the president of this country.
And he has to use the same laws.
Yet Uhuru was there calling him Mushenzi in Lodwar 2 years ago. So what happens? So he needs to rise above the pettiness of especially his handlers and begin to run this country like a head of state who genuinely wants posterity for this country and who will leave behind a legacy whereby even any president who comes after him will find a way of doing things, so that we don't want an angry leadership going into the future whereby they have scores to settle. And you remember one of the key things that Mzee Moi did that enabled a lot of people get over the sins of his administration was the fact that he agreed to hand over power peacefully. When Mzee Kibaki came into office, Mzee alienda retirement. He never got into meddling into the affairs of the Kibaki administration. Wale wachache bado walikuwa na mauchungu wakaongea, lakini wakaona mzee ana mambo na wakasahau na wakamsamehe. But you don't want to keep agitating people to the extent that they want to punish you in the future. That is very dangerous. And I wish the close handlers of the president can guide him accordingly. Power is very transient. And one day you are here, the following day you are not there. And nobody knows who will be what. Leo unaweza kuwa unadharau huyu mheshimiwa umeketi naye hapa. January 23 upate ndio governor wa Kiambu.
Hatari.
Na ulikuwa unamdharau. Sasa unapata tena maisha inakukalia.
Unaanza kusema pole mtosi.
Unaanza kusema unajua.
Si kwa serious.
ulikuwa unamwangaisha. So it is not right. Let people utilize their time in public offices just to serve the interest of the public and realize that they are only custodians of the interests of the people and not very narrow interests that they are trying to pursue. Yes.
IKONYA.
Yes. No, I quite agree with the caller, but McLaren call would be just what Ben has said. I think that the president of this country, and I have utmost respect for him, he needs to get a different set of I wouldn't call them advisors, but he needs to get a different set of people who goes to the ground and listen and report back. He needs to be told the truth. Someone needs to be very honest with him. We need to have people sit around stages in Muranga, stages in Koibatek, in Kisii, pick out the real conversation. You know, that way we'll be able to make the right decisions, you know, as opposed to what we see, what we treated too. I saw some guys in some churches over the weekend saying some very funny things. And, you know, if those are the guys who report back to the president, then what you get is totally different from what is happening on the ground. So the person who told about that caller was just candid, you know, just like when we did it too. Is simply saying what Kenyans out there are saying, you know. He just brought it exactly the way it is in the street. And if I was given an opportunity to advise the president to do, rather to sit down with him for only 10 or 20 minutes, I will tell him that the conversation out there is totally different, and that the priorities of the government right now are not are wrong. You know, what we need to do as a country is to look at issues that are revolving around the economy and how to revamp the economy, how to put money in people's pocket. That is a conversation that is going around. Yes. So basically, I would tell him, I would wish that people tell you the truth. I would wish them tell you that probably what we have, you may have very good thoughts in terms of bringing this country together, but you see, a pandemic came in the midst of an economic crisis, so that worsened the situation, you know. So really bad at the economy. So we are, you know, worse off than where we started before COVID. So what we need to do, and what the conversation that is out there is not on this document called BBI. It's not even on uniting. If you want to unite Kenyans, unite them on their pockets. Unite them on with economic policies. That is the conversation that is out there. That is what will candidly tell the president, you know. So to me, as I told you, and I want to get back there, is that the timing of this thing is totally wrong. Or the other thing is, I even want to believe that even nature is against it. If you look at just when we're just into the campaigns of it after Meru comes COVID. When we now want to revamp it again and want to move, we are now being told the second surge is coming. So I think even nature is against it. We need to put it aside and have a real conversation. Yes.
All right. Ben, your tackle of the day. Kikafunga naona tumefikisha 9:30. Jambo kuna shughuli leo ya kwenda kuongelesha raia wala ya mashujaa. What's your tackle of the day?
No, mine is to assure Kenyans that there is hope. And despite everything that has been happening, despite everybody who feels that they own this country, this country belongs to all of us. And today is a very important day when we are celebrating heroes, to reflect deeply. Let us run away from this culture of celebrating individuals who have not been of much value to this country. We have mothers out there who sacrificed to make us who we are today. We have fathers out there. We have teachers. We have domestic workers. We have the matatu sector. Those are the real heroes we should be celebrating. And when we begin to celebrate the real people who make a difference in our lives, then this country will move forward. The minute we'll realize that our future does not lie in an individual, and we don't have to sit and wait for somebody to read for us this document or the other one for us to make a decision. The minute we'll realize that the decision lies right with us, and each one of us was born equal before the eyes of God and before the eyes of the law, then this country will move forward. Thank you.
All right. What's your tackle of the day, Mheshimiwa IKONYA?
I think true heroism is we need to celebrate all of us as a country today. And true heroism to me would be when we begin to have an honest conversation of the plight of Kenyans. And I think leading to what Ben has said is that we need to realize that building a country is a corporate activity. You know, it takes all of us. It takes the Mamamboga, it takes the Mkokotenige, it takes those people who are down there to the people who are top there. It is a collective responsibility. All of us have to play a part. And as I say, we are all equal in the eyes of God and in the eyes of law. So I want to encourage Kenyans that there is still hope. This country still have an opportunity to turn around if we begin having an honest conversation. So it behooves all of us, from the president to the least of us, to be very honest with ourselves. Even as we celebrate heroes, the true heroism will be when we begin to have a real conversation that is centered around the problems that our Kenyans are going through. That is when we will be able to celebrate true heroes. So we have an opportunity and there is hope for this country if we get back on track. You know, we've lost, we keep bringing in things that we need to do as a country, and then we keep losing them. We have the Big Four agenda that we brought along. Somewhere along the way, we've dropped it. I think we need to get, the conversation should be on real issues, like the issues of housing, for example, that were in the Big Four agenda. You know, basically, it was not even an issue of bringing cheap houses, but if you look at the labor force that would have been employed in those, in our project, so many of our young people can get back to can get their jobs back if we revamp for example the housing thing. So we need to have a conversation around issues. Let's get back the Big Four agenda. Let's have a conversation around it. Let's be very honest as Kenyans. That is when true heroism will be celebrated in this country.
Wow. Thank you so much, guys, for coming in. It's a pleasure to have you. Nashukuru sana kuwaona na I hope muda geuka. Unajua unasemanga zingine wana nigeukia, mnaweza fika pale. Nasikia kuna mapepo pale kwenye bunge.
Kigeu guy geuka himself. You know. Guy did the song.
Aligeuza akageuziwa. Alikula mali iko imeiva.
Nasikia commander, you know, I saw in the papers the other days that commander was sent to him. Same guy were fighting with the hard day, you know. Jago would not have been an MP in this country. You know, Dani had run away with it. But I hear he was a emissary that was sent to Jago to talk to him, and I think it took something to him. So the fella akageuka, sasa akigeuka
akavuka boda.
Amevuka boda, akapanda ile nyingine. So it's life. Pesa kidogo alafu unakuwa
Uzaanza
kwa kigeuka. Pesa kidogo. Yes.
But the one thing, Gerald, you know, mimi na wewe tumetoka mbali.
Ai sana bwana.
There is one thing that
nafa uambianga watu za zingine ben mahali tumetoka.
There is one thing I believe in, consistency. Because you see, I only God knows how long you have around here.
Kabisa.
Nobody knows whether you'll be alive tomorrow. So by the time you leave this planet, I believe it is always important that you left with a clear conscience. Hiyo kwangu, it is very important.
That's what I'm
so it doesn't matter who is right or who is wrong. If you choose to stand by what is right and what is and what is just, your life will never go wrong. It doesn't matter, and then you'll never be intimidated by people. Yes.
Uweze geuka na kuvuka
boda. But to be very honest, that's a take home for Kenyans today.
Yes.
Consistency is a very good thing.
Is,
it doesn't matter whether you're in the right side of things or rather what you believe is necessarily right. But you see, when you're consistent in something, you know, you don't change every day. That's a principle in this life, you know, that even our young people need to emulate. You know, that when you become consistent, there is a way life pays you back sometimes down the line. You
Absolutely.
know, if you are a consistent person. But if you keep changing goalposts in life, you know, there's a way life that also doesn't treat you. It does life. I want to have people and friends who, if we agree on something today with Ben, I am sure I will wake up to it. Absolutely. But the people you agree on things, you're not sure whether tomorrow morning they still be
the same.
Yes. So let's be consistent in our belief. Yes.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you. Yes. We hope to see you again soon. By the way, I'm happy what you guys are doing. Ben, I'm very proud of you. You know, we've been in this space long enough, and I'm happy what you're doing. So I want to see you. Unajua Jamali, he once ran for president. We campaigned for him because the president for kaingia nyazi. Sasa ndiye we want to see you again running in 2022. That person you are saying you never know could actually be you. Tulianza na kitu ilikuwa nitoa nak.
What that should teach us is that we live in a life of possibilities, and you know we must believe as Kenyans. And every young person must start believing that you can become anything you want to become in this life. You know, we are in a world full of possibilities. It doesn't matter. I read a scripture to you when we came. I read him a scripture here. I told him we slept and we woke up again today because the Lord sustained us. Then he said, the next verse says that tens of thousands of people are there waiting to harm us. But God is so faithful that when you believe in something, when we focus and we stay straight on our goals and we are consistent, then I would tell you this is a world of possibilities. Anything and anyone can be anything they want in this life.
Absolutely.
Wow. That's amazing. Yes, I'm a motivational speaker. Karibu useme nilianza biashara ya kuku na feathers mbili. Alright guys, ule mtu ambaye pia alitengeneza jacket ya The Tackle. wewe ni shujaa. Nataka wewe shujaa. So tukirudi, I promise that we're going to make calls to your shujaas. Na I'll take a small break. Nikirudi tunakuja kupiga masimu. Nimeona kuna watu it's quite surprising. A lot of heroes are mothers. Yeah, everybody saying shujaa ni mama yangu, shujaa ni nani, you know, nani amesema pia shujaa ni mama yake. Yes. It's quite interesting, William. That's why I think that's why even call a nation a mother.
Yes.
Because idea
that's why you even call a country a motherland, because there are exceptional challenges that the average mother has to go through to bring forth not only a child but to raise a child. And I always remember something that I was told by an old friend of mine. You never realize the role or your parents played in your life until you become a parent. Until you become a parent. By the way, I came with my kids. They are here. You want them to come in and say
come and say hi.
Yeah, let them come and say
hello.
Let them come and say hi.
Just bring them in.
Those are now my little shujaas. And I'm celebrating them today. Ask them to come in. Now ndio mashujaa.
Actually, I even told them I've got 3 girls who are my little shujaas. I told them, I didn't let me tell you something. You know, the very many things you see in us, we picked from them from our mothers. You know, the aspect of being confident and all those things. The shujaas are here.
You're here.
Hi. You want to say hi?
Say hi.
Today is my shujaa.
You just mic.
Hi.
You can speak to the microphone.
You can speak to the microphone.
Hi.
What's your name?
Elaine.
Lane.
Yes.
Which class are you in?
I am in year 3.
Year 3.
Yes.
Who is your shujaa?
Who's your shujaa today?
I don't know.
Who is your hero?
Who's your hero? It's not even the guy sitting next to you. All right, nani mwingine? Yes. Is on the line.
Happy Mashujaa Day.
Happy Mashujaa Day.
You know a song? Do you know one song you can sing?
Yes.
Yeah, please sing one song.
Okay. She's just a girl and she's on fire. Hotter than a fantasy. Running like a highway. She's living in a world and it's on fire. Filled with catastrophe. But she knows she can fly away. Oh, she's got both feet on the ground and she's burning it down. Oh, she's got her head in the clouds and she's not backing down.
I need to play that song
This
for
girl
you.
is on fire. This girl is on fire. She's walking on fire. This girl is on fire. Looks like a girl, but she's a flame. So bright she can burn your eyes. Better look the other way. You can try, but you'll never forget her name. She's on top of the world, the hottest of the hottest girls. Say, oh, oh, we got our feet on the ground and we are burning it down. Oh, oh, we got our head in the clouds and we are not coming down. This girl is on fire. This girl is on fire. She's walking on fire. This girl is on fire. Everybody stares as she goes by, 'cause they can see the flame in her eyes. Watch how she's lighting up the night, and nobody knows that she's a lonely girl. And it's a lonely world, but she's gonna let it burn, baby, burn, baby. This girl is on fire.
Awesome.
This girl is on fire. She's walking on fire. This girl is on fire. Oh.
Wow. Amazing. Wow. Ikonya, well, your age, what are you doing with your life?
Let's
For that reason, I need to play with that song. Let me play for that.